Okay, so service, so first part, just to contrast between the services and the products that we went through last week. Okay, so service, this is the definition, all right? It says that, okay, so it says that it is something, it is an act that is done to or for a customer. Okay, so here there are two ways of understanding service. We have done to and also done for. Okay, give you an example. Let's say we go to the bank. Let's say we go to the bank, I highlight this, and then we want to open a bank account. So we go to the counter, they say, hey, I want to open a bank account. I want to put some money inside. I want to get interest. So that person does everything for us. They have access to the system we don't have, right? So just sitting in front of them, staring at them, using our phone, but we don't have to do anything. We just tell them. So this would be considered as a service done for us, correct? So they are doing something on our behalf, for us. What about the case of something done to us? Any examples you can think of? So they are doing something that involves us. It is done, let's say, on our body. Okay, done on your person. Done on your person. So done for you, it's I don't need to touch you or anything, right? I can just do it here. We don't even have to be in the same space. But something done to you, it involves like a physical interaction. Yeah, wow. Okay, and then we're supposed to probably change the way you are. Examples? Don't have. Something done to us. Let's say today, yes, right? So let's say I have a long hair, I want to cut short. So it is something done to us. Okay, so just a simple one, right? So done to us, we could change our appearance, right? Do makeup, haircut. Done for us could be that they do a tailoring for us, right? So here I prepare the suit for you, and then later you wear it yourself. Okay, so done to us, done for us. Then over here, hello. Okay, so over here we differentiate the different elements that are needed to produce that service. Okay, so we talk about things like the physical resources needed. So let's say in the case of a nail salon, all right? So today I want to go for a nice manicure, right? Let's say I choose okay, nail designs. Okay, let's say I really like this. Yeah, they call this the coffin nails designs. All right, don't know why it's coffin, but okay, it looks like that. Okay, let's say today this is too plain, right? This is too plain. There's nothing. So I want to put this. I want to put this on my fingers. I want to have this finger. Okay, so imagine I'm doing this right now with this finger, then my face over there. Okay, so I'm going for this service, right? I want to have these nails. So we cut into these few elements, right? These are the elements needed to provide that services to us. So first thing, right? First thing, the physical resources needed. Let's say I want to have this design on my fingers, okay? What are the physical resources that could be used to have these nails? Okay, give me a while, sorry, because someone coming in. Yes, sorry. Yes.
Person who does such service.
Okay, so the person doing the service, okay. Okay, in some sense, yeah, okay, I need to be there. Okay. Anything else? Anything else? Anything else? Like what else? What else? Materials, right? So let's say the coloring, I don't know what this is. Like yeah, okay. Okay. So we need the artificial nails or like the colors. Probably this is not a real nail, right? Probably you stick this on. I don't know, okay, but probably you stick this on. Okay. Then they say that they also need accompanying goods that are purchased or consumed by the customer or provided with the service. So the main thing here would be, let's say, the coloring, right? Could they also be providing any additional products for us? Could they also be selling something to us? Could they also be using some other items for us? So this could be the basic, let's say the coloring, right? But could there be any other things that come along with it? Hand cream, right? Okay, so you guys got go, so you know. Okay, so hand cream, that one could come together. All right. Then next two, these two are highlighted. Okay, this one we need to pay a bit more attention. We say that we have the explicit services and also the implicit services. Okay, so we differentiate between both. We have the essential features of a service. Let's say here I'm going for a tax preparation service, right? They will provide this. Let's say today I need some legal advice. So the lawyer provides that for us. We want to go for a haircut. So that is the main service that we are looking for, explicit service. Implicit service would be, let's say, your attitude. Okay, so it's something that is additional. I go to a lawyer, right? That lawyer can be very friendly. He can be very rude to me, right? So in terms of explicit service, he could still provide. So he'll tell me, okay, to do this, you need blah, blah, blah documents. Okay, he'll tell me all the things I need. But lawyer A can be very friendly, like, hey, how's the day, right? How are you? Shake hands. Lawyer B, hi. Lawyer B could be very rude to you. Say, hey, why don't you even know this? You're so stupid, right? So in terms of both types, they provide the explicit services, but in terms of the attitude, it is different. So we also include this, right, as part of the service. Later we'll look at the reason. So we include this as well. So for the example of the nail salon, the stylist, in terms of the explicit services, he is doing the nail coloring for us. He's preparing the nails for us so that instead of looking like this, it will now look like that. Then implicit service could be that while we are doing the nails, he's talking to me. Hey, how's your day? Right, I'm not so good. I woke up at 6. Today I have a class at 8:30, right? And then half the people are not here. So implicit service, this would be like friendly attitude. Okay, so this one is quite straightforward. For the context of a short answered question, they could ask us, let's say, right, in the example of a hair salon, explain the different elements that go into the service package. So one would be your physical resources. We talk about things like the hair dye, the scissors, etc. The accompanying goods, right? There could be additional services, additional resources needed. Like let's say they need a shampoo, they need the lotion, etc. Then explicit service would be, let's say, the hair coloring services, hairdressing services. Then implicit services would be things like their attitude. Okay, so this portion, they may ask you to give example, right? In the case of a specific context, they could ask us MCQ as well. So if they ask you MCQ, then they could tell you, okay, in the service package, which one is an element? Or in the service package, which one is not an element? Okay, so just to take note, all right, this one probably wouldn't be for essay. It's more like short answered or MCQ. Okay, these are the ways that they can test. Okay, so before we go on to this, right, we look at the differences between, give me a while, do we have it? Okay, never mind. We look at the differences between services and product. Okay, since here don't have, we can add in ourselves. So any differences between the services and the product? So we're selling a physical product, let's say iPhone, MacBook, right, computer. We are providing a service. So both could be a business that we provide to the customers. How could they be different? Okay, all right. Give me a while. So product or okay. Anything else? Anything else? Anything else? Let's say in terms of the standardization. Any differences? Standardization, in terms of standardization. So, okay, so if we standardize a product, that means wherever you go, right? Let's say the Uniqlo shirt, for example, you are expecting to find the Uniqlo shirt, right? Would they look the same? Okay, Uniqlo. So Uniqlo shirts. Okay, this one then. All right, let's say I really want this very nice Arism cotton oversized crew neck t-shirt, very long name. So I want to get this, right? Whether I go to the branch at, let's say, Jurong, or I go to the branch at Airport, Tampines, right? Wherever in Singapore, or even in Malaysia, would we expect to see the same item? Let's say I look at this here, right? I go to the different outlets, even in different countries, would they probably be the same? Yes. Okay. Now I want to go for a haircut. Okay. Then let's say, okay, which is nice for me. Let's say I choose this. Hello. Okay. So let's say I really like this hairstyle. Okay. I want to go with this hairstyle. So I have prepared this image as my reference. So I will go to, let's say, right, I go to different salons to do the haircut. All right. This is the reference. Would it turn out the same? Exactly the same. Okay. So if I go to, let's say, this salon in Orchard versus this salon at Jurong, this salon in Malaysia, in any country, right? Would I get exactly this hairstyle? Assuming I can go back in time. So I have this, let's say, whatever hair length now, then I cut already, I go back in time, I recut. Then I go back in time again, I recut. Let's say I can keep doing that, okay? Would it turn out exactly the same every time? Probably no, right? So what is the reason here? How come it cannot turn out the same? Sorry?
It depends on the service provider.
Okay, so it depends on the service provider. The hairstylist could have different taste, right? They can say your fringe should be a bit slanted, right? It shouldn't be straight like that. It will look nicer on you. Or let's say he's only just starting out, he doesn't have experience. So when he cut, right, this side and this side, very different length. So I have here and here. So in that case, there will be a higher level of variability, right? That's the point I'm getting at. So here for products, it would likely be more standardized. You go through the whole production process, it will probably turn out the same. But for services, the level of variation is higher because the person doing it for you is not the same, right? So this would be standardized versus, so that's another element. Then let's say for products and services as well, right? Let's say not just about the item itself, but looking at, let's say, the selling process, okay, the marketing process. Today, let's say your phone is already worn out, right? You want to change your phone. So how do you decide what to buy?
Reviews.
Compare?
Reviews.
Reviews. So let's say right now, you are going to change your phone. Right now, okay, right now you're changing your phone, right? What are you going to search for? So
YouTube reviews.
just YouTube, which are the best phones? So any brand will do. Any brand. There's no like, okay, I must buy Apple, I must buy Samsung. Don't have. Any brands. Any brand preference? Right now, you changed phones before, right? So let's say now you want to change your phone. Okay, then what will you search? Or do you have already some idea? Let's say yesterday you watched the advertisement, right? iPhone 16 is coming out. Then maybe I'm paying attention to that. Don't have. Okay. Let's say, okay, iPhone, then iPhone. I'm not sure if it has come out. iPhone 16. This is the new one, right? Okay. I'm still using Note 20. Okay, I'm still using Note 20, so I don't follow. Okay, suppose now I am interested in iPhone 16 and this one looks quite interesting. So naturally, let's say, right, okay, it's available on Friday. Interesting. Okay, so if you really like me, you can get me a phone also. Any color, right? Pink also accept. I have a pink bottle also. So pink and pink. Okay, so let's say now it's okay. I can wait anytime. So let's say if I want this, right? Probably you say you look for reviews, right? Then you'll see whether the size is good for you. 512 is good for me. 512. Then you choose the color, right? You choose any color. And then also you check whatever functions you need. Probably that's the steps, right? Then if online is not enough for you, you'll go to the physical store, right? Then you will check, you'll play around. Okay, I like this size. I like the way it looks. I'll get it. Okay. Then let's say for this process, do you think about you buy from again? Now, just now I asked you, right? You're getting a phone. So then I ask you, how do you do that? So you say like, okay, go online, you search, and then you will look at the functions, the reviews, the videos. If needed, you go to the shop and you look at the phone, right? Then you buy. So the next question, do you decide who to buy from? Or does it matter who you buy from? So do you really care if you buy from this shop, this person, or that shop, that person? Usually, probably not. Unless you have this very close friend, okay, that's one thing. But let's say general circumstances, you don't really care, right? This is just the product you want. You could even buy online. There could be no person interaction, right? You buy online, the person delivers to your house, you pick it up, and then you start using. Okay, that's for product. Let's say you want to get insurance. Okay, you buy insurance, right? No insurance. Okay, great. Let me sell you later. Let's say you go for a haircut. Go for a haircut, right? Okay. Haircut, then would it matter who does it for you? Okay. So let's say where do you Kim Robinson, right? You guys were saying you go for Kim Robinson, right? Oh, forgot about Kim Robinson. Okay. This one, remember Princess Diana? Yeah, how much is the price? No, what 70? No 70. 2000, right? You guys just went yesterday, right? So, okay, so who does the haircut for us? It makes a difference because the skills, personality, the way it looks, the outcome, it could also be like the shop's atmosphere. So all these things will play a part. So it matters where you go for the haircut. So if let's say I do for you the haircut, right? And then every time while I'm doing, I ask you very personal questions. Hey, how much do you earn yesterday? How much do you earn, right? Or let's say I keep touching you. I keep touching you like that. It makes you feel uncomfortable. Then probably you won't come again. So all this makes a difference. Then we come back here, the difference between products and services. So for products, the human element is less of a factor. Yes.
It is repeatable so that the person, we prefer a particular person who's comfortable for us actually.
Yes.
So suppose you're buying a sandwich from Subway.
Yes.
So you prefer a guy to do a sub for you.
Okay.
You go regularly over there.
Okay.
Maybe he acts comfortable according to you by keeping more veggie for you and more sauces for you.
Yes.
So that it is a preference there actually. So when we get a product frequently, so the point of contact increases,
Mm.
and this is the major difference between both product and
Okay, Ken, thank you. Wow, so insightful. Okay, so this some differences as well. So tangible, intangible, standardized variations. Then we can talk about the point of contact and then linking to the human interaction element. All right, so this one just to take note. Okay, so we added this in as well. Okay, so let's look at this first. So explain some challenges of providing a service as compared to selling a physical product. Okay, we look at this, right? Then you see if there's anything else you want to add in. Okay, because the answers may not be complete. Okay, right? So not so easy, huh? The answers are given, but it may not be complete. So we need to assess to see if it is perfect. Otherwise, we need to add something. Okay. So challenges providing a service as compared to selling a physical product. So we highlighted challenges, comparing service and also a physical product. Now in this context, this is a short answered question, which is 8 marks. So we need 3 points. Okay, we need 3 points. So coming back, first one. First difference is that a service is intangible. So unlike physical products, consumers cannot assess the good very distinctly. So they will need to rely on other clues such as pricing, distribution, channel. Therefore, trying to promote a service or convincing customers to buy becomes more challenging. Agree? Agree? Any changes? Any changes to make? Okay, second point. Second difference is that due to the intangible nature, it becomes more necessary for service providers to provide long-term relationships with the customers. This will make the customers more likely to return for repeated purchases. In contrast, the need for service staff involvement for products could be minimized since the consumers can make the decision themselves. As such, resources and time are needed for service providers to build long-term relationships.
For example, sir, if you purchase a car, so purchasing a car is one-time contact.
Okay.
Servicing the car is more time contact.
Yes.
You get serviced with them.
Okay.
Frequent, once in a year.
Okay.
Well. So you won't prefer any service centers outside actually.
Okay.
For example, you're taking a BMW, Benz. You always prefer the showroom or else the exact brand to do the service for your car.
Okay.
So this already comes under the long-term relationship with the people who are already over there.
Okay. So agree or disagree?
Agree.
Agree. Okay.
Can you say an example?
Okay, Ken, thank you. So this one, as another point, services cannot be stored in advance, may be harder to meet any sudden rises in demand. Agree?
So difficult to compare quality. Products can be easily compared, but services cannot be that easily compared
Okay.
as the services provided are always different.
Ready for exam, huh? Can feel. ready for exam. All ready for exam.
Yeah,
Because it came out here, so cannot ask the same thing.
you must ask. It's unfair.
Ask the same question in another place.
It's so easier. Okay, so anything to change for this answer, this question's answer? Okay, so we need 3 points. This one given 3 points. This part, let's say this part, if we want to explain further, anything else to add on? We can give example, we can give more details. Let's say to flesh up this point a bit. Let's say any examples.
When it comes to a service like haircut,
Mm.
people usually go in the weekends.
If you're talking about that, you could get more part-timers or more staff.
Only for the weekends.
Yeah, you could if you're talking about that aspect. But this one here a bit different because we are not creating the service. Okay, let's say for this point, we are saying that the services are created beforehand. So that means right now, let's say now it's a lull period, right? Right now, 9 a.m. on a weekday, people go for work, right? The salons are not yet open. Then can we get the staff to come in? Okay, now start creating haircuts.
Services are not separable from the service provider.
Okay.
So it cannot be stored.
So it cannot be stored, right? So that's the issue here. So not about getting more stuff, but more like, let's say now everyone is free, right? 9 a.m. the salons are not yet open, so you're technically all free. Then can we come in here and create, let's say 20 haircuts to keep first? Then when the customers come on the weekend or take out the haircut and give it to you, cannot, right? So that's one. Or let's say a hotel. Hotel provides the service. Let's say MBS. So okay, let's say if you're not familiar, I search for you. So MBS. Okay, let's say this hotel, right? If you've been there before. So this one, let's say during Christmas period, December, people like to come for holidays. Then usually the rooms are quite full, right? But let's say during usual period, there could be some empty rooms. Then can we keep the empty room and then keep it to take out in December? Now, you can build the rooms, yes, but you cannot say, oh, because today on 17 September, right now, there's no one using this room. Then can I keep this emptiness and take it out in December? Cannot, right? So that will be the issue. So here is saying that it cannot be stored in advance, may be harder to meet any sudden rises in demand. So let's say for December, right? Suddenly all come in. Or let's say we didn't know when COVID shutdown was going to finish. Then like one random day in April, I think 2-3 years ago, they say, okay, now you can all start traveling overseas. Then on that very day, right, I think the hotel bookings, the plane bookings, everything, it was just like boom. Because suddenly like, oh, I can go overseas already. So then quite unexpected, sudden. So in that case, this will be the example. Okay, so anyway, I just add in So let's say here, empty rooms, the hotels. Okay.
Many companies find it difficult to differentiate their products. They look for service differentiation by its own. Many companies.
Okay, this one just to relax a bit, about 2 minutes.
Many companies find it difficult to differentiate their products. They look for service differentiation by its on-time delivery, better and faster response to inquiries with a quicker resolution of complaints to make a memorable customer experience. Both the design offers an effective way to differentiate and position a company's products and services. Design is the totality of features that affect the way a product looks, feels, and functions to a consumer. It delivers aesthetic and functional benefits that appeal to both our rational and emotional sides. What is product design? Product design is the method of finding a market opportunity, clearly defining the problem, developing a proper solution for that problem, and validating the solution with real users. What is service design? Service design is all about taking a service and making it meet the user's, business, and customers' needs. Key principles of product design: defining the product vision, product research, user analysis, ideation, design, testing and validation, post-launch activities. Key principles of service design: user-centric, collaboration, iterative, prototyping, design, testing and audit. In all cases, products and services come together and are required to deliver a sustainable experience. Service and product design are not alternatives but looking at different aspects of an overall value proposition. Service design is holistic and broad, product design is more focused. If you have any questions about product design or service design, Royal Cyber Design Expert.
Okay, so we talked about product design last week, right? We went through a long video, talk about creating this note-taking pad or something. Remember this one?
In 2021, I quit my job to explore new opportunities as a creative.
Remember?
At the same time,
11
my friends at
video,
GroveMate
11, right?
asked if I wanted to collaborate on designing
Yeah,
a
11.
desk accessory product from scratch.
Remember? We
I've
watched
never
this
designed
on
a physical
Friday?
product before, but I was up for the challenge.
Okay, so he was okay, so I'll summarize for you. All right. So he wanted to create something, this person, and he saw this opportunity in this called the note-taking kit. All right, the note-taking kit. Okay, I think there's a website. So it looks like that. All right, it looks like that. So before they came out with the product, they had to do the whole product design phase. They have to go through a series of processes, right, to get to this stage. So the first thing that they did was they had to find out what people was looking for, right? What do they actually want? So we went to talk to people, right? And then you realize that, oh, let's say the note taking that they had, right? It was like pieces of paper lying around, and then sometimes you cannot find where your notes are. So is there a way to keep your notes neatly, right? And you can find. So he went to play around with different ideas, right? He went to do the designing of the prototype. Then after that, once they sort of decided on the idea, they went on to do the prototype, so the designing phase. Okay. Then after that, they design. At the same time, they were doing the marketing, right? How to market, how to name the product before eventually you come up with the end product itself. Okay, 11 minutes, so not going to watch again. So this is for product design. Now here, the video that we just watched, right? This one talks about product versus the service design. Okay, let's say today I want to sell something, right? You could be selling okay, where were we? Okay, you could be selling a physical item. Okay, you produce this yourself. You can also provide a service. Let's say you want to have a new hair salon, or you want to offer some consultancy services. Then in terms of the designing process, would it be different? Or how similar can it be? Okay, very difficult, right? Okay, maybe this one can be an exam question. Okay, one more time, huh? So today, okay, let's say imagine this, right? Let's say you are selling a phone, okay? Or okay, never mind. This one maybe not that easy to come into. Let's say we want to sell a pencil case, okay, because phone more expensive to produce, right? So let's say now I want to buy or I want to produce the pencil case and sell to people. Okay, so there's one situation. Second situation is maybe you want to open a new hair salon. Okay, so you do all the haircuts and all that, right? So for this, it's mainly service-based. For this, it's just a product itself, right? Let's say if you want to come up with a product or come up with a service to offer to customers, would the process of the planning be different, or would it largely be the same?
Maybe difference.
Okay, which part?
So manufacturing a product has a different operational plan.
Okay.
Efficiency planning, it includes zero wastage planning, it includes lean management, also it includes labor efficiency and more things. In service, we only expect to have more efficiency of labors who do the exact service for the people who offer them action. So that can be the major difference.
Okay, give me a so let's say for that side. Okay, so that's one aspect. Anything else? Or let's say similarities. Could there be similarities for both? So do we start with
Both requires planning.
okay, forecasting. Okay, anything else? So we mentioned the difference between two approaches, right? For those who were there on Friday and listening. So we mentioned that you have this product-oriented approach. So you look at what you can produce, you produce the highest quality item, and then you just sell. So I could be a very powerful, a very good remote control producer. I can make all the nice functions and I just sell. I can combine all the buttons into one and then just use voice command, for example. That could be very advanced technology. Versus the other case where we don't look at what we can produce first, but we ask what the people want first. So you may be in need of a phone, but you don't need a remote control. You may need a better note-taking kit. You may need a new laptop that is smaller in size, right? So then from there, we start to design our product. So one starts with the product itself. What can you do? What is the best that you can give without caring for customers? And the other perspective is you ask what the customers want, then you give it to them. You try to match what you can with what they want so that they could buy from you. Okay, so that's the two approaches, right, to the whole the design phase. So would it be the same for both product and the service? Okay, so
Was understanding the needs and wants and giving them the exact and giving them by meeting their exact requirement can be given for both sides actually service,
okay,
but both products and service oriented works we have bottlenecks sir.
you have
But
what?
we cannot prevent bottlenecks too.
So that means you
We plan
uh-huh,
in 100%,
okay,
and we predict in 100%.
okay,
And in any situation, it would end in 20%. We cannot execute an exact plan what we casted. So bottleneck situation may be probable, equally probable for both that.
okay, okay, that's about it. All right. Questions so far? Questions? If you guys taking notes, taking notes. Okay. Okay, all right. So one part, okay, then we go for the rest. So number of characteristics of well-designed service systems. So, okay, this one here, they give us a list of items or elements, right, that would define a well-designed service system. So for this, we may need to explain ourselves. We may need to provide examples. It could be based on a certain situation. Answer the question could ask you the easier way. They could ask you like, okay, which one is an element of a well-designed service system? Okay, that one will be MCQ. So short answer question could ask you, explain some elements, some characteristics of the well-designed service system. So you choose maybe 3, you explain yourself. Okay, another scenario is they could tell you, let's say now in the context of a nail salon or a hair salon, right? Or let's say I'm a law firm providing services. How do you know whether this is a well-designed service system? So then you have to explain, let's say, 3 characteristics and link it to the law firm. So for example, let's say here, okay, let's see here. Let's say, okay, providing value that is obvious to customers. You can choose a few, right? You don't need to remember all 7. So having value that is obvious to customers. So we can explain, for example, this means that the customers will benefit from the service. So we can explain this way. Then the example can be saying that the legal advice provided benefits the customer. Okay, so explanation, the points, and the example if needed. All right, but if they don't need the context, the example, then this part a bit optional. All right, so how do we know this is a well-designed service systems? Things like consistent with the organization's mission. So what do you want to achieve, right? Where do you want to be? So if we want to be the market leader, right, in this industry, then how could the service system help with that? Okay, let's say for example, we aim to be the largest law firm by market share in 10 years. Let's say this is their mission, they want to achieve this. How could the service system support that statement? Yes. One more time. So service systems should be consistent with the organization's mission goals, right? What do you want? So if the organization says we aim to be the largest law firm by market share in 10 years, that means based on how much we earn for sales, right, generated income, it should be the highest compared to all the law firms. Then to achieve that, of course, you are providing the legal services to customers. I advise people, individuals, we advise the firms, we could advise the government even. So then, based on the services we provided, how could this help us to be the largest firm by market share? What could we change What could we include in our service?
Choose to have clients with more money.
Okay. All right. So here, let's say to translate this to the service design, let's say high-end just okay. Anything else? Huh?
Giving more success rates, give them more value and
So people work a law firm. Okay. Then how to so you want to have a higher success rate, right? Then based on this, how do you get that? How do you make sure your success rate is better? I mean, okay, we're not lawyers, right? But let's say you want to, we could change some things, right? That could help. So, for example, let's say the choice between taking on, okay, we could specialize in one field, right? Or you can branch out into everything. That's also an option. So that goes into your service package design, right? You can, let's say K-Cuts. Okay, let's say K-Cuts. So K-Cuts. This one offers just hair cutting service. So they zoom in. So in terms of the package, the service design, they only offer haircuts. You want to color, perm, whatever, they don't do. Okay, so that's very niche down. Then on the other hand, for those who go to Kim Robinson, right, you're familiar with this. So they offer all services, right? They do perming, coloring, cutting, etc. So in that case, do we want to, okay, in that case, like law, there are different areas, right? Some criminal, some civil law, some could be intellectual property, etc., etc. Do we offer everything, or do we just focus on, let's say, just these three? And then all the lawyers you hire will just do these three. Both are okay, right? There's no right or wrong because we can't tell in advance also. But it could be, let's say, if you, so there could be two ways about it. So let's say if you niche down, right? Let's say we niche down the services, then we can also at the same time employ the best talents. So that means that because we are focusing on just these few areas, right? Easier to pinpoint, okay, this person is a talent in intellectual property, right? So we seek after all the good lawyers in intellectual property law. So they all come to us, and then this is the place if you need that area of consultation, right? They wouldn't go elsewhere. So you make a name for yourself. Another way to think about it could be, let's say we offer a wider range of services, and then this will allow us to get more customers to earn higher revenue. Okay, so these are just considerations, right? There's no right or wrong. So if you just narrow down, okay, I only do A, B, C, then you know who to look for, you know what to do, right? It's very easy, straightforward. If you say that, okay, I want to do everything, that means I want to make money from the customers as much as possible, right? I know that he wants to do hair coloring, but he come to my shop, I only do haircut. That means right away, right, I see the money flying away from me, right? Because he wants to do hair coloring. He was asking me already. But I said, oh, sorry, my salon only does haircut. So he has to go somewhere else, right? So in that case, the money is going elsewhere. So if we offer more things, more services, we can get more customers, money in. Okay, so these are some areas to look at. All right, so there's one.
and I've got a success rate in that particular problem
Okay,
after all the issues. And I suggest my family, friends, or my relatives to, I suggest you to them
okay,
to take over their problems.
Okay.
to solve.
okay.
So in this particular concept and situation, the word of mouth plays a major role.
Okay, yes. Okay, but we still need to change it because here talk about the service design. So then linking that word of mouth, yes. But then in the case of, let's say, service design, how do we incorporate with the word of mouth? So then once you can link it, then yeah, the point you can use also. Okay. Okay, so just some examples. Then let's say cost effective. Okay, choose the easiest ones, okay? So let's say cost effective, it could be that we try to reduce the cost up to the business so that profits can be higher, or we can offer more competitive prices. Okay, so cost effective, this could be that you're getting the best for whatever you spend. It doesn't mean you spend the least. Let's say, okay, let's say we are going for Okay, Kim Robinson again, huh? Let's say, okay, Kim Robinson haircut. Let's say now we go for his haircut, right? We know that it's priced at 2,000, few hundred. So the materials that they use for you, right? Let's say they do the shampoo for you. You wouldn't expect it to feel like a cheap shampoo, right? It should probably be organic. It shouldn't hurt your hair, your head, whatever. So then when they're getting these items into the shop, they buy the shampoo, the conditioner, they still need to look at whether it's cost effective. If I can get a discount from the supplier, then I can save some money. But it doesn't mean that I'm choosing a lousy quality product. It's the same quality, same brand, but we could get some discounts. In that case, you're already saving some money for the firm itself. So cost effective, not about choosing the cheapest material, but whether when you choose this, does it come at discount? Is it at a good price? And so on. Okay? So from there, then you provide the services to customers. You can also offer a more competitive pricing. So excited.
All the best.
Okay, going on to the second portion, we look at the capacity planning. So previously it was all on service design. We looked at service and product design, differences between services and products, all this that we went through just now. Okay, so second portion on the capacity planning. All right, so in terms of capacity, we are asking ourselves, right, how much can we produce at the maximum? Okay, so what is your maximum output level? Let's say for this factory, it could be how many units of clothing per day or per month, right? Or let's say per hour, what is our production level, okay, at the maximum. So now we want to plan, right, for our capacity. We could also be planning how much to increase by. Okay, so essentially, this portion here will tie in with your forecasting. So forecasting, we looked at how much do we foresee the demand to be, the sales to be. So for the forecasting to, let's say, give us some results, right? And for us to use these results, we have to link this to our capacity. Okay, so it could be a simple case, right? We anticipate that the demand for clothing could be, let's say, 20,000 units next month, but we can only produce 10,000 units. Okay, a straightforward one. So the demand is 20,000 units. Our production at the maximum is 10,000 units. So then what can we do to address this issue? Okay, so here we're asking ourselves, what kind of capacity do we need? How much is needed to match the demand? And when do we need this by? All right, so these are some of the key issues over here. Okay, so let's enjoy this first.
So, have you ever went shopping, let's say for a new apartment or a new house, and you actually purchased or decided to rent a new apartment or buy a house? You probably started capacity planning at some aspect. And in this sense, capacity planning is really just how you optimize space. It's very similar when we talk about manufacturing and capacity planning in that sense, right? You can't put king size bed in a very small room. Take a look at this floor plan, this floor model. If this is enough space for you, great. But if you put the wrong size furniture in this space, you're not utilizing your capacity well. It's just like the technologies that we have, computers and cell phones. They have limited bandwidth. And so does the organizations that produce products. So in this sense, capacity is simply the measure of an organization's ability to sustainably produce products based on customers' demand, or goods and services based on customers' demand. How well can we produce? And this is going to be based on what we call our maximum throughput, or our maximum rate of output, which is called our throughput, right? So if we can only produce 100 units a day, and we're producing 100 units a day, we're operating at full capacity and at 100% capacity utilization, because that's our maximum rate of throughput. Now, what's driving that? It could be a number of things. However, we could have a bottleneck, right? And that bottleneck could be slowing down production in some aspect. Therefore, we have to improve that bottleneck in order to increase capacity. Now, there's another aspect we can look at, and that's called system capacity. So system capacity is driven by the number of goods or services that we can produce based on demand, but we also consider the strongest and the weakest points within that system. This is where we begin to get into bottlenecks and specific departments that could be the reason that we have such low throughput, or where our maximum output is at a specific rate. So in this case, your maximum output is going to be driven by the department with the slowest amount of time, or the department with the least amount of output. Here's an example. Let's say you ran a sandwich shop, right? And right now in your 3 departments, you have 20 slices of bread, 15 slices of cheese, 12 slices of turkey. Every sandwich that you make requires 2 slices of bread, 1 slice of cheese, and 1 slice of turkey. How many total sandwiches can you make based on your inventory levels? You can only make 10, right? Because you have 20 slices of bread, you have 15 slices of cheese, and then you have 12 slices of turkey. So your bread department is the slowest or have the least amount of output. Therefore, they determine your throughput, which is your maximum output rate. You can only make 10 sandwiches because you only have enough bread to make 10 sandwiches. You could make at least 2 more because turkey would be next in line with 12 slices. So you could do 2 more if you had 4 more slices of bread. And that's how throughput works in relation to capacity planning. And this is when other departments get involved in organizations when it comes to producing products, and how they can particularly slow the company down or become the bottleneck. And that can be for a number of reasons, right? Maybe the bread department has some employees that are on vacation, or their systems are not as efficient in that department as they are in other departments. But that's the general sense of what capacity is. So, key takeaways. Capacity planning and capacity is really just about the measure of how can a company produce to meet demand, sustainably produce to meet demand of customer demand for products and or services. And in doing that, they have to consider what their throughput is, or their maximum rate of output, and also considering their system capacity and what departments may be the reason that their output is so low or their production time is so slow, because that department is going to drive their throughput, because the lowest throughput or the slowest time is the one that drives the throughput for the entire system.
Okay, how was the sleep? So, okay, so now we look at the capacity planning. So the video also mentioned we have to meet the customer's needs. What can we produce at the maximum? We talk about the throughput, talk about capacity, and all these can be affected by different things. Let's say, first off, one question: how are we going to improve our capacity level? So how can we increase the maximum that we can produce? Let's say in the context of clothing company, let's say a factory, right? How much it wants to increase the maximum output level, right? Which areas can it look at? Let's say we were to brainstorm a bit. Let's say for a clothing factory. So to increase the capacity, let's say the throughput, then where are the areas that they can?
Line management.
Sorry?
Line management.
Land management.
Line management.
Okay, so for how to explain?
To increase the capacity, sir,
Uh-huh.
in a short period of time,
Okay.
let us focus on line management.
Okay.
It also interfaces with the operation management as well. Usually, we allocate different lines of production in the clothing company, because I've been in the company for 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
And we allocate different types of different varieties of orders
Okay.
to different lines actually.
Okay.
And we give them a target
Okay.
to come to achieve. Suppose in 2 shifts of work, they must complete 500 finished products in 1 line.
Mm.
So that we have 5 lines over there, and we will calculate the number of total production done for a day actually. So that by increasing the land capacity, we are being able to increase the capacity to fulfill the overall demand of the particular product.
Okay, so okay, I like this. So you mentioned like there is a key target set, right? So that's one. Then also talking about the line production, right? Okay, then so this one to be more specific, it's like you're producing, let's say every line, right? Are they producing one S?
And also the machineries are completely customizable according to the demand fluctuations.
Okay, so customizable machines.
Machinery.
Okay, so this one again. So one line will produce, let's say I have okay, it's good. So now everyone's awake for maybe 1 minute. So let's say I produce white t-shirt, then black t-shirt, right? Both are t-shirts. So would it be considered as one line or two lines?
Only
One line. So all t-shirts, one
all
line.
t-shirts.
Okay.
Only one line.
So t-shirt, then pants.
Your design of the t-shirt
Okay.
must be similar, and you must be particular with your size.
Okay.
You must be particular with all those tech pack informations.
Okay.
But the color is not a matter, sir. Actually,
So,
color is not a matter.
okay.
So your design and your tech pack informations and the information regarding the production and the number of pieces and number of sizes
Okay.
in the different category
Okay.
that matters. Color doesn't matter.
So if it's a design, let's say this one with a heart design, then another shirt, let's say I put a moon here, then that will go into different
I'm
lines.
saying about the layout design.
Yeah, correct.
Layout design, not the design which we place over there. That is called as printing.
Oh, okay,
I'm
okay.
saying about the design.
So-
we design in the sense the layout designs. For example, I could say in some t-shirts, in some shirts we get buttons over here.
Yes,
normally.
yes.
In some t-shirts we get buttons like this.
Okay.
It depends upon the design of the garment actually.
So this one could go as two lines.
Yeah.
Oh,
lines.
okay.
When the designs and the tech pack information varies, the lines differs
Mm.
according to the machineries. When it comes to the color, it doesn't matter.
Specialize producing.
And you have heard about zigzag operations?
Sorry?
Zigzag operations.
No.
Operations like this,
Okay.
like this.
Okay.
So that the operation by forming and more than 3 to 4 lines,
Mm.
by having a single line, by implementing the zigzag operation management over there,
Okay.
zigzag industrial attachment over there, we'll be able to have all the operations in one line. So it will be easy to work. And you'll be requiring less labor, want more productivity.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Okay, I just put in here lah. Zigzag layout. Okay. Could I choose clothing? Then you shared so much. Okay, so this one is an example. They could give you this case, or we could talk about any context in the question. So they could ask like for ways to increase your capacity, to increase your throughput, right? So let's say if you have the experience, you can include, or let's say in a generic case, generally, this one quite specific. Okay, but generally, let's say if you want to increase the capacity for any firm, right? How can we do that? Let's say it could be for a restaurant. It could be for a hair salon. It could be for a service industry, for product industry. Okay. Any general guidelines to help us increase capacity?
Place purpose
Specialization. Okay, because
in workers.
in workers, yeah. That's all.
more efficient training for the workers.
Okay, so combine.
So, when we increase in training for the workers, automatically the operation efficiency increases. When a person is capable to do haircut for 3 people in 1 hour,
Mm-hmm.
when he is completely equipped with enhanced with more efficiency, can automatically cut 4 to 5 customers in a hour actually, in 1 hour.
Mm-hmm.
So automatically it increases the capacity. Right?
Okay, so
So
increase
efficiency training.
the efficiency. Okay, so increase the efficiency of workers. Okay, then by extension from here, since we talk about the workers' labor, right? Then we mentioned the factors of production before.
Land, labor, equipment, and labor.
Entrepreneurship.
Entrepreneurship. increase the quality of the factors of production. Okay. Already. Okay, so this one can give example, increasing the quality of factors of production. So capital, entrepreneurship, land, labor. You can, if they give you a specific context, right, like restaurant or whatever, then you can say things like training the workers or getting better machineries, right? In some cases, if you work with different materials, it could also affect your efficiency. So all these can be mentioned. Thanks for the pointer. So I move on. Okay.
One more,
Mm.
one more example, real-time examples. Can I share you?
Okay. Okay.
In my experience, before COVID actually, in our side in Tamil Nadu, India, we are most famous for non-oven and oven clothing, sir. Actually.
Okay.
So it is nothing but the pure cotton will be coming under oven, and non-oven will be our shirts which you are wearing. So it will be the difference. They came with the most advanced technology in machines
Okay.
for weaving this actually.
Okay.
From Germany, from China, they have imported many machineries. Even though in the use of modern machineries, they are using the oldest machinery which is used for weaving. Even that machine gives us the good quality which this particular modern technology machines cannot give. So the efficiency is being achieved by using the oldest technology, but now not new technology. So that people keep on changing the machineries, but they cannot achieve the efficiency. And finally they bought all those old machines in process in the production lines to increase their efficiency actually. So it differs actually. But the people are completely focused on efficiency percentage. They don't want to exceed more than 0.8%.
Okay.
Per lot. So they concentrate more on that. It doesn't depend upon the machineries, advanced technologies, anything else. This is the real-time example actually. They have lost crores and crores of amounts I'm saying in Indian money by adopting those machines, and they are not successful in that. They are changed into their
old machines.
Yes, old machines.
Okay, move on. Next part. Okay, suddenly so excited. Okay, so in terms of planning, right, they look at the different points here. All this, okay. Let me separate out, okay? So it's not all cluttered together. All right, so some of the key points, things like how much does it cost? What is the expected return? How will it be funded? Right, like just now we were asking how to increase your capacity, your throughput, right? And we raised these points. So if we look at all these different ways, then first is how much will the whole cost be, right? Is it going to be expensive? Can we afford? Can we not afford? Then also looking at your expected returns. Okay, so in terms of rate of return, right? Let's say I spend $1 million and how much am I getting every year? Right? Maybe I save 20,000 per year. So 20,000 out of $1 million per year, what is your returns? Okay, so that could be one way of measuring. Here, of course, there could be different ways to look at it, right? It doesn't just have to be so straightforward. You can look at, let's say, how many workers can you cut short on? Okay, you can look at the time that you are saving. You can look at the money that you're saving. So this may not be so straightforward. Then second portion, what are the potential benefits and risks associated with implementing these changes? Right, like you mentioned, the old machines versus the new machines, right? So the new machines may not achieve as much as the old machines. So the risk here becomes that we spend the money, but then probably they are keeping the new machines, right? Okay, so that's the issue there. But let's say we do implement some new changes. Probably, let's say, if you talk about AI, for example, and AI helping with the production or helping with any aspect, if it's successful, then the benefits could be immense also. Okay, so depending on the situation. Next part here, we talk about sustainability last lesson. Remember? So circular economy, right? Okay, how to explain circular economy? Yes. So nowadays, sustainability is a big thing. People care about sustainability. They care about like protecting the environment. So circular economy linked with sustainability. How to explain this concept, or what is the opposite of the circular economy? Very sad. You mentioned this. Okay. So here, circular economy. Okay, this one should. Okay, you can see here, it's about 10 years ago, right? So this concept is not recent. It's been quite going on quite a while. Okay, so you have things like They will take the materials from the nature, right? Whatever resources, they will produce, then they will deliver, and people will consume, right? But with circular economy, this whole thing goes back in a cycle. So the old materials can be reused again. Okay, like in the case,
No taste.
there could still be some waste, but you eliminate the waste. So we raised the example of Philips last lesson. We talked about H&M last lesson also. Remember? Okay, what? Okay, what does H&M do? Okay, so what does H&M do? So in the example we gave, right, it practices circular economy. Then how does it do that? What does H&M do? It sells clothes, right? They reuse. So we go into the store, right? Usually beside the counter, then we see this big bin, right? Then it tells us to do something. Sorry? So what does it tell us to do? So you go into the store, then you see this big bin, this big basket. He wants us to donate something.
What?
Very sad. Okay, so yeah, this one. Okay, so you go in there, you'll see like they ask you to give back your old clothing, right? And in the video from last week, okay, if you go and watch, it was around here. Circular economy, I think should be this. They will show that H&M collects the old clothing and then they produce using all the fabrics and all that to produce new clothing. All right, so that's one example. Then Philips Lighting as well. They changed the business model, so it's a bigger change compared to H&M. H&M is still selling the same thing, but they add in an extra component. They use the old clothing, produce new clothing to sell, right? That's doing something extra. Philips used to sell light bulbs, okay, in the context of UK. But instead of selling the light bulbs, they changed to selling this as a service. That means you don't own the light bulb, but you rent from them. You pay them a rental, and you can still use the lighting. So let's say I move out from this building. Let's say LSBF wants to switch location, then they can uninstall all the light bulbs, return back to Philips. Then if they want to, at the new location, they can use back the same service, right? And you realize that the light bulb can actually shift around, okay? And any maintenance, Philips will still do. It belongs to them. So of course, they want to preserve lah. So this one can use in many places. Okay, so coming back. So we talk about sustainability, right? So if we are planning for capacity, then we are adding new machines. We could also change our operations. Then how do you actually address the sustainability issue? Okay, let's say, since we talk about Philips, right? We understand they changed the business model. It is helping to improve on the sustainability of the environment. How could this affect the Philips capacity level? Okay, one more time, since we talk about Philips. Philips used to sell lighting, right? So they produce, they sell lighting. Now they want to help with sustainability. So instead of selling lighting, light bulbs, they sell as a service. That means they install for you, they maintain for you, they uninstall for you. So when you leave the place, you don't need to care about the lighting, right? They will take it off, they will keep back. If you still want them at your new place, they will install for you, then you continue paying them. So the light bulb doesn't belong to you. And once you finish, you don't just throw it away. They could recycle, reuse, and so on, right? So changing this, could it affect their capacity as well?
The workers can be useful.
Okay, okay, one aspect, they may not be producing as much because we are not selling the light bulbs. Of course, some people still buy, but suppose now we have the same customer number, half changes to getting it as a service and not as the light bulb itself. So with that, probably you are producing less in your production line because they are not buying, but you are just reusing and so on. So for the production side, it could reduce. But on the other hand, now you are selling as a service. That means you need technicians, service personnel, people to install, uninstall, etc. Okay, so in terms of capacity, how can it change? So are we able to deliver more, deliver less, or can we do more or less businesses than before? Or what should be done so that we can serve more customers than before? Meaning?
Product differentiation, not as the normal lights.
Okay.
Many varieties and many colors. differentiations in the lights,
So that
long duration.
so that people will come buy from you.
When we give a different product, we have a chance to catch the market.
Okay. This one may be on the marketing side, but let's say on the operation side. Now that we change this, would it reduce our capacity? So that means last time I can serve 10,000 customers, but now I can only serve 5,000 customers. Could it be the case?
Point I've already told you,
Ah.
the purchase of the product is one-time contact.
Yes,
When
yes,
we
yes.
do service maintenance,
Yes.
we are able to generate more income than selling a product.
Okay.
Because
So that means we don't need so many customers because
less
it's a
customers, more money.
so it's a recurring thing. So they make more money out of it, out of fewer customers. Okay, interesting.
For maintenance and service, they are going to pay me regularly.
Okay, okay.
And it is one of the largest income for the company, right, sir?
Hmm.
Instead of catching the customers more than a number, which
Okay.
we have a limit.
Okay.
And also, we are spending more on expense marketing and to get reach of the product towards the people. Instead of that, we are having only 2,000 customers for a single product,
Mhm.
and we are going to keep on servicing for it.
Mm.
And we are keep on maintaining that, and we are getting charges. We are collecting charges for that. So that is the regular income, right?
Mhm. Okay, can. Just looking for something like that. Okay, the next thing, should it be changed all at once or through several or more small changes? Okay, why?
Implement changes all at once.
Okay.
It's better to like give small
We
changes.
want customers to adapt to the changes, sir.
Okay.
A big change gives less attraction towards the customer point of view. So that
This one from operations perspective, so we could offer the same product, right? Technically, I could offer you the same product, but how I produce it could be different. So let's say I'm selling you this dish, right? This dish, so at the restaurant, but in my kitchen, right, it could use to be 5 chefs cooking. But now let's say technology is very advanced, right? I fire all of them, I get 5 machines. So in that sense, the output is still the same, but my production process is different. So it could press a button, the machine will start moving, cooking, right? So you just press a button. But last time it was chef, so you tell them, oh, okay, cook this, right? How many plates? So one could be more, so change all at once could be like, I fire all the chefs, I buy in all 5 machines immediately. Then for several small changes, it will be like I change one at a time. So a small change here, small change there. Then before you realize the whole thing has changed, the whole production has changed. Okay, so anyway, this one no right or wrong answer, right? It could be more preference, it could be more based on the situation. If you change your operations all at once, you get new machines, you get more workers suddenly, you change their work schedule, work shift, get a new factory, right? All changes. Any problems with that, such as?
Like, if we fire all the 5 chefs
Ah.
and implement 5 machines, we actually don't know what's their required output, their capacity, or are they customizable? We don't know anything about it,
Okay,
and we are just so the risk is higher.
okay. Higher risk. Okay, yeah.
I think I'm related to this change in my mind. It's not about operations, but the changing all at once before COVID. I'm saying about India.
Mm,
Before COVID, the education system in India used to be full on like paper, books and all. And when the COVID came, suddenly we changed into an online class. It was really difficult to adapt. And every children were like required to use a smartphone or TV or something. So the addiction level to the phones, even me, it was a bit higher. And the risk of that change in mentality,
Okay.
there were many problems. So I don't think the changing all at once is something good. If we adapt slowly, it's good. We can know the merits and demerits and distinguish everything.
Okay.
in the perspective,
I said
operation.
it's nothing unrelated.
Okay, I adjust. So workers may not be able to adapt to all major changes. Okay, all right. So if we change this in the context of, let's say, the factories, right? Too many changes, because we're still humans. So we could be very resistant against the changes. Okay, if you are doing HRM, right? Yeah, okay. Then you talk about the what's that? We talk about the human psychology as well.
Yeah.
Did you go through that? Worker psychology, Maslow?
Maslow's need.
Yeah.
Need hierarchy.
Yeah, Maslow, Herzberg, all this talk about the workers. Okay, never mind. So a worker then recognize that it is not just making money, right? Not a machine, but more like it's a very multi-dimensional being. So you care about the social aspect, you care about what you want to achieve. So there's a psychology factor as well. So if I'm working somewhere, right, and they implement changes and I don't like it, my efficiency will also drop, right? I'm not performing at my peak. So then that will also affect your capacity. Okay, so relevant, just we change a bit. Okay, then small changes, the benefits would be like, there could be lower risk because you slowly implement. Then workers maybe have time to adjust, right? So it'll be the opposite of that. So let's try the question, okay? So you have some rest from the content. So explain the types of wastage that can occur due to poor capacity planning, all right? This one here, how many points to have? Let's say it is a short answer question. How many points to provide? Suddenly no response really. Yoo-hoo. How many points? We'll go through the content. Right? We didn't talk about the wastage, right? So I'll ask you, but how many points for this? Let's say for short answer. Yeah. Short answer. 3 points. How many marks?
8.
8. Okay, so we look at this, right? So the different types. Okay, so first thing, they talked about the definition first. So this is again a bit optional. If you don't want to, it's fine. This one just to give you the extra mark. Okay, first point, first type due to poor capacity planning is your idle resources. So resources are available but not utilized. So we hire them, but they are not being used. The firms have too much resources as they assume they will be producing a higher quantity of output. Okay, so that could be one type of the wastage. Then second one, they produce too much. So they can occur because of overproduction. They produce too much without having properly forecast the demand for it. As such, they are unsold, may have to be disposed of if they become unfit for selling. Okay, so we have 2 points already. One is idle resources. The other one is overproduction. Okay, could there be other types of wastage that comes about because of poor capacity planning? That means we didn't plan for such a high demand, or let's say we planned for such a high demand, but it didn't happen. Okay, these are the situations that we have, right, for poor capacity planning.
Gross design utilization.
Sorry, wrong utilization of the resource. Okay, so you're saying it's used for the wrong or a different purpose. Then after that,
And due to that, it increases wastage.
because it's not suitable. All right. Okay. So 0.3. Okay. All right. So here they talk about utilization, right? They talk about utilization and also your planning. So when we plan for capacity, there is this like actual utilization. Okay, so let me type this down now so we have it. Okay, so effective. Okay, so we make the distinction between both as well. So effective could be, let's say we could effectively produce 10,000 units at the maximum. Okay, so after all these changes, machines, people, training, etc., our effective could be 10,000 units, all right, of production in 1 hour maximum. But the actual utilization could differ. Let's say now let's say I tell you, right, if you study hard in 1 day, right, you can actually read through all the notes. How many pages? 109. Okay, if you study hard for 1 day, you can actually cover all 100 plus pages in 1 day. So that means tomorrow you can go for exam already, right? Okay, so will you do that? No, tomorrow is not exam, right? Your exam is next month. Okay, so there's no pressure there. So will you read the whole document today? No. So we have people who want to rest. Let's say in the context of a factory, people want to rest. They want to chat. They want to slack a bit. They feel unwell. So all these different factors could come in. Machines could also break down. So all that would mean that your actual utilization, where was that part? So the actual utilization could be lower, probably will be lower compared to your effective. So then when they plan, they may also need to take note, this is what you could get effectively, but are you actually getting that? No, right? Then where are we going to position this at? So would this be at 80% of effective? Would this be at 90%? So because that also affects your production level, right? So you have to account for that as well. Okay, so just to take note, huh? So next one, explain how forecasting techniques can help with improving capacity planning. Okay, brainstorm or I just show you? Okay, I just show you. All right, I just show you. Okay, so first one, explain the terms. This again still optional. You can have or not have. So they say that it belongs to, it refers to this. And then if you want to improve your capacity planning, you want to consider your resources carefully, such that the subsequent match of resources and demands are better met. So next part. Point one way to use forecasting techniques is to improve the accuracy of your forecasting demand. So you can use methods such as regression, where we explain about how it works here, and then later on talking about how using the information to determine the demand for the firm's resources. Second point, they say that after you do the forecasting, they will assess if then any bottlenecks are present, which can hinder the matching of demand to supply, blah, blah, blah. So this question, right, before we go into content, this question combines two chapters together, right? You have forecasting techniques and you have capacity planning, okay? Don't have. Make it simpler. No.
You want to ensure this?
Oh, I can change. So this will require two. So here just to show example that they can cross the chapters. Second thing, right? If they talk about forecasting techniques, you may want to mention the specific examples. Like here, they talked about the regression model. So I mean to explain a bit inside. Okay, just to let you know, right, in terms of the requirements. Then for the content itself, they ask how this can help with improving capacity planning. So we mentioned two ways. One is to improve your accuracy of forecasting. So once you're more accurate, you know better. Second one is that after you do forecasting, you need to see if there are any bottlenecks so that you can remove them. Any other ways or any other points for this? Last thing already. Yeah, no more already. Okay, last point. How else can we add to this answer? Okay, how to explain?
Opportunity cost is next best alternative.
Yes.
Things.
Yes.
So even though when we forecast by having major techniques,
okay,
is there a chance to get failure in that particular technique?
Okay.
So to have a next best alternative plan B, we can implement opportunity cost.
So that means you have a backup plan.
Yeah, backup.
But the backup plan is for technique or for capacity?
Techniques and capacity.
For capacity.
For capacity.
Okay, that means you have different scenarios, right? That means the demand could be this, it could be that as well.
Yes.
Okay, so okay.
Like, when it comes to opportunity, if we select one, the other is gone. Something like that.
Yeah.
So how can we like prepare a backup plan from that?
Okay.
When we select one is already gone.
Yeah.
Or else by instead of implementing opportunity cost, you can implement agility, right?
No.
Okay.
I accept your point. Instead of implementing opportunity cost, we can implement agile techniques, right?
Okay.
Agility helps us to have an next best option to resolve the problem soon and to have a resilient supply chain over.
So that means your scenarios, right? Essentially different scenarios. So different scenarios, then how can we... Okay, so let's say first scenario could be we forecast 10,000 units. Scenario B could be 8,000 units and the corresponding machineries. So if it doesn't hit 10,000, then we can plan for 8,000 units of production or 8,000 units of demand, right? Then do we still accept that there will still be wastage, idle resources? Are we okay with it, or do we do something to address that?
So it is completely based upon the allocation process.
Okay.
The allocation process of the operations.
Okay.
So to be practical and to have more understanding on it, in all the industries we have operation allocation. So we plan for 10,000, and if there's a scenario where we cannot attain 10,000, only 8,000. We plan accordingly through allocation. So
Okay.
that we may change the shift for the laborers
Okay.
and we may disconnect more connections towards the missionaries. There are many sources actually in
Okay.
that particular scenario.
Okay. So that you minimize the wastage
Yeah,
in
minimize the
the.
wastage.
Okay.
Not only minimizing the wastage, also the resources.
So you don't need as much.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the remaining 2,000 products, the resources which is being used for remaining 2,000 will be remaining ideal.
Okay.
So that how to save that particular resource
Okay.
through allocation.
Okay. Okay. I just needed more explanation.
The question is, by using this, the overall cost of the company will decrease actually.
Okay. Then I just add in here. So overall.
Because in the end of the day, we focus on cost of the company, cost of the product and cost
Okay.
of use.
Okay. Thanks for all that. So all this done up already. So the answers are completed. So now we can refer, then we can use in the exam. It won't come out for exam. Okay, but the 3 points and then the structure, all that will be still the same. So you can still use back the same structure.